Hello and a very warm welcome. Round 2 of the F1 season as we head to Shanghai, China. Round 2 already, back-to-back weekends. We've just had a classic at Australia. Now we go to China. China will host the first sprint race of the season. Sprints divide opinion. You either love them or hate them. Personally, I hate them. I think they don't really add anything to the weekends. But yeah, it divides opinion. We head to China, 56 laps and 2 DRS zones, I believe. One down the main straight and one down the huge back straight at the end of the lap. And 16 turns. This is an iconic venue. And I love going to China, to be honest, because they really are passionate fans. They fill the grandstands, literally fill them. I love going to venues that have full grandstands. We've just been to Albert Park, massive crowd. We'll go to China, passionate fans, full grandstands. And China is quite a good track. It provides decent racing and plenty of overtaking opportunities. Yeah, the grandstands are always full. I love to see that. I hate going to venues where there's no fans there. Yeah, not a bad start for this one. Racing qualifying is actually 7 AM, which is not too bad in the UK. But you gotta say, it's unusual weather at China. Sometimes it rains, you have that like smog weather at China. I remember one year that practice got delayed because the medical helicopter couldn't fly because of the smog. A bit of a disappointment for Chinese fans as Guan Yu Zhou is no longer on the grid. Who can forget last year when Guan Yu Zhou got to come on the pit straight and celebrate in front of his Chinese fans? He is now at Ferrari. So we're going to run down some talking points that I have coming into the weekend. First sprint of the year. So, massive test, especially for the rookies. Some rookies had really tough races, the likes of Doohan and Hadjar. They've got one practice session and then they're straight into the weekend. Yeah. So, 1 hour of practice. Then we've got a sprint qualifying to end Friday. And then we have the sprint race. Don't know how many laps that's going to be actually. It should be interesting. Let me see if I can find out on this. Sprint. Chinese sprint. It was not going to be that many laps, is it? Does it say? No, doesn't say. So yeah, we'll go straight in to the sprint on the Saturday, and then we have qualifying. I always find that stupid that we do a sprint race and then we do qualifying. What happens if you damage the car in the sprint? You would miss qualifying. It seems ridiculous. Then we have the race on Sunday. So the first sprint of the year, that is going to be utter carnage, especially for the rookies. I think this one will be a big test for the rookies. Just having one practice session. The likes of Lesby and Lawson hasn't even been to this track. So, yeah, massive test for him. Second talking point, Isack Hadjar response. How is that going to have affected him? Is he going to come out swinging? Obviously, binned it on the formation lap. He's had a lot of support from the likes of drivers and Anthony Hamilton, who consoled him. How is he going to respond to that embarrassing humiliation? But yeah, everyone felt sorry for him because it was his first race. Which, yeah, hopefully he comes out fighting, because I thought up until that point he had a good weekend. Third talking point is Williams. Very positive at Williams. James Vowles talking a good game. Well, Alex Albon, sensational weekend at Australia. Can he deliver in China? Carlos Sainz needs to do much better with a decent car, it looks like, Williams. Fourth on my list, Ferrari. Response. Are they going to stand up the Italians? Because that weekend at Australia was nothing short of a disgrace. Best driver lineup on the grid, and what did they do? They finished 8th and 10th, embarrassing, behind Williams and Aston Martins. I mean, shocking. Absolutely shocking. Are we going to see a response by Ferrari? Fifth on my list, different track. Are we going to see the same pecking order? Each track has its different aspects coming into the weekend. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where the pecking order is. Is it going to be the same? McLaren clear favourites. But yeah, the McLaren, I said it the other day. Lando Norris had a great weekend. The other one, Piastri, bottled it. And it seems a theme. One of them dominates and one of them bottle. Even with the fastest car, you're not confident that McLaren are going to win. Because they've got that bottling nature, both drivers. It seems if one chokes, the other shines. 6 on my list, Ollie Bearman. Ollie Bearman. He needs a clean weekend. Australia was embarrassing. It was shit, it was wank, and not up to par. And now he's a full-time driver. He's going to be treated like a full-time F1 driver. You're in the big league now. He needs a clean weekend. And like I say, it's tough for him because straight into a sprint, one practice session. 7 goes into 6 really. Lawson. Lesbian Lawson. Now, he's never been to this track, but he needs a clean weekend. We need to see something from Lawson. Like I say, one practice session, he's going to be under pressure. And number 8 on my list is about these flexi wings. Literally, flexi wings, all we ever hear about. Apparently, we're going to get tougher tests. Obviously, it was part of Australia, China, and then after China, they're going to have tougher tests, but the main one comes in at Spain. Overall, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Back-to-back F1 races is brilliant. Brilliant for the fans, for the channel. As always, preview, qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings. Bring on the Chinese Grand Prix. It's going to be interesting, this one. First sprint of the season. One practice session, straight into the deep end. Yeah. Also, you go through the drivers. Max, again, getting the best out of a bad package. Lawson's never been here. You go to McLaren. Both of them know they have a race-winning car, so highly motivated. Ferrari need a reaction, absolutely abysmal. Nowhere near good enough. Mercedes had a really good Australia. Can they do that again in China? Kimi Antonelli got a lot of praise and headlines. Williams, very positive, got to say. Aston Martin, Stroll scored. Alonso faded. Sauber, Hulkenberg scored more points in one race than Sauber did in the whole of 25. Bortoleto, I thought, was superb at Australia. Alpine didn't score any points. Gasly had a really good weekend. Duham, big crash. Obviously, under pressure, Colapinto won't go away. Racing Bulls, obviously, we need a Hadjar response. Yuki Tsunoda had a great weekend and should take a lot of positives coming into China. But obviously, yeah, missed out on the points, which was gut-wrenching. And Haas F1 looked dreadful in Australia. So hopefully, we see some performance by Haas F1. Bearman spent more time sat on the sidelines. And Ocon had a clean weekend, but he was absolutely nowhere on pace. So there we have it. China preview. Join me throughout the weekend. Should be a good one. Adios.